Started here. We were just chatting and testing my audio, making sure people could unmute themselves. All right.
Sure, I was just on a call. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay, we are live on Facebook today. So let me go ahead and start the recording. Record on the cloud. Hi, this is Richard Roop, and this is kind of like a weekly coaching call that I do for my Inner Circle members. Today, we're going to do some deal structuring and then maybe some Q&A at the end. So thanks for joining me, you guys. If you have any questions on what I go through today, feel free to chime in at the end, and I also can talk about anything related to improving your real estate business, getting more leads, getting restarted. Any aspect of your business, I'm happy to handle questions on. I'm pretty good at answering questions, fixing things. So Joey, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Ultimate Profit Generator software. This is a deal I was working on with someone else. So what I'll do is, do you see my screen there? So Joey, do you see am I sharing my screen?
Yeah. Sorry, you cut out me. I don't know if it's my connection's bad or what, but I can hear you now. Oh, I see it.
Okay. All right. So someone was saying, Samuel was saying he has an old version of the deal structuring software. I've actually created like 4 different tools, and then this is the latest tool, and this is version 3 of this latest tool. So this is version 3.05. That's currently what we're using. And so when you have a new deal, you're going to go to the new tab. And what state are you in?
Georgia.
Ohio or Georgia? Georgia. Okay. Georgia, and it's a single family house?
Correct.
And we're going to use, we're going to always start with selling with terms, either rent to own or selling it on a wrap or something like that. We can also have a straight rent exit. Okay, on this property, let's go to the quick tab. Well, on the quick tab, I would normally go ahead and put the address in there, and then we could Google the address and that type of thing. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just go ahead and stick with the numbers here. Okay. I don't want to tell everybody about your the address of your deal.
I appreciate that.
So, all right. So this property is single family house.
Correct.
And now, is this one have a loan?
It does.
Okay, I'm going to go to the loans tab. And what do you think? Do you have an idea what the original note amount was?
Yeah, one sec. I have to get those numbers. I know I can tell you what's owed on it currently, but give me a moment. I can see if I can pull that up. He currently owes 94,000 on it.
Okay, he owes 94.
And the monthly payments are 758.
Okay, is that principal and interest or total?
Correct.
Total?
Total. Yeah, 758 a month.
Okay. PITI.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to put 758 down in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the taxes and insurance in there so we can determine what the PIT, because I need the principal and only payment, principal and interest only.
Right.
That's what I need here. Okay, so let's go to the new tab. How much in repairs?
That's subjective. It's probably going to be about 20. You could use about 20. I mean, to have it to the ARV, full market value, I'd say it needs about 20K in it.
Okay, and is it tenant occupied or owner occupied?
Tenant.
Vacant?
Tenant.
Okay, it's tenant occupied. Okay, and I'm going to go over here to the seller tab. Okay, now in the seller tab, this acts like you asked me about the other day, since we're working together as the JV Doubler program. Yeah, about a property information sheet, right? Was that you?
No.
Did you ask me for?
We're already we're already doing the JV program.
No. But did you ask me where a property information sheet was?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's
Or was
right.
that
Yeah.
someone else?
That was me. That's right.
Okay. Okay. All right. So on this seller tab, this is kind of like a property information sheet. So if you got a call, you could actually put your notes in here.
Sure.
Okay. And then you could put all this. Now the taxes and insurance, what is the annual taxes?
Yep. Taxes are 1883.
1883. And what do you think the insurance might be?
I don't know, but based on my assumption on that property, I'd say about 1400.
And I'm gonna walk you through this, and then you can always get better, get
Sure.
more refined later.
Sure.
No homeowners dues, right?
No.
Are you going to be paying any of the utilities when it's tenant occupied?
No.
Okay. And then what do you think is the after repaired value? Or what does the seller think it's worth? What does the seller think it's worth?
Seller doesn't care. He just wants it paid off. The after repair value.
We already talked about this. This one you could, you can buy it for what he owes.
The value after repair value is probably 155.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to put it here because that's not what the seller told you, right? And he's asking 94.
Right.
He's asking for what he owes? Okay.
Correct.
All right, that's and I told you to go get the deed. All right.
Yep.
How much rent is he getting? 800?
800 a month. 800 even. Yep.
Okay. So what we're going to do is they're on a month to month. It usually will take a couple months, like you said, to get them out. So I usually put 3 months. Okay. See, it says use 3 months. So this is going to calculate the lost income during those 3 months. Okay. And usually on a free and clear house, we're going to borrow that money, put it into our escrow account, and be able to feed the property with that money. So we're not, we never want our money into a property. So, all right. So we got the taxes and insurance. You got the repairs. Okay, we'll go ahead and run it as if you're going to do the repairs. But we also talked about selling it as is, right?
Right.
Okay. What is the after repaired value? What did you
say?
tell
153.9, 154. I said 155. It'd say 154. Be conservative.
154. All right. And if you fixed it up and sold it with owner financing or rent to own, what price would you ask?
I was considering asking about 136.
Why would you sell it for 136 with terms if it's worth 154?
Well, because I was saying that's what it was worth after, repair, be worth about 154. So as is,
that's what I'm talking. What I'm asking you, Joey, is if you spent $20,000 fixing it up to make it worth 154, if you did that,
oh yeah,
what would you sell it for?
After if I fixed it up, 154.
Yeah, 159, right? Probably 167. How's your market? Is it a normal market or hot market? Hot market.
It's a hotter market, but right now where it's at, I would say in that area, it's kind of a little, it's not the best area. It's not worst either. It's kind of in a middle of the road area.
Okay,
so.
We'll do 159.5. Okay, because if someone will pay 154, they'll pay 154.
It's a decent neighborhood. It's an average starter home area.
All right, so the market rent you told me was 1,200. Is that right?
1150, 1,200. Yeah, you could get 1,200.
Okay, let's do 1195. All right. And usually we can select this on here like that. Okay, and then the taxes, I'm going to go ahead and pull that from the seller tab. And the insurance, I'm going to go ahead and pull that from the seller tab. And then normally on a free and clear house, Joey, I know you're not familiar with the free and clear model, but we usually pull out 10 or 20 grand, put it in our pocket when we buy it.
Mhm.
On a subject to deal, you can't really do that. So right now we're going to put none. And reimbursement from your marketing. Again, this is, we want to, whatever money you spent to get this deal, we want to get that back out of the deal when we buy it.
Sure.
In this case, I'm going to go ahead and put $1,400 in here, but we're not going to be able to get a private money first since there's already a mortgage. But
Right.
it'll tell us how much, but it's treated as a cost for targeting your profits. So that's why I want to put it in there. And I'll show you how that works. All right, on the quick tab, utilities while vacant is 0. Okay. Utilities while vacant. So how much would you pay for utilities while it's vacant?
And for
You know,
water and
fixing it up,
power, probably
100.
like a little
Yeah.
over 100, say 125, maybe 100. Yeah, somewhere
Okay.
there.
And then when it's occupied, none. Okay. And then there's no homeowners dues. Now on the property manager, what we usually do is we have UPG feed or none. So I used to have a page where we would pull, I could update the best practices on a page and it would pull from that page. I haven't reconnected that yet, but right now it's none. And this should be U15 and 12. So I'm going to put that there. Title insurance. Would you buy title insurance if you bought it subject to?
Probably. I would think so. I don't know. I
And
mean,
you would pay for it?
what would you recommend? I mean, it's probably like a couple $100. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and you said a couple $100, like
Yeah,
320.
usually the title company uses usually between like $200 and $300 for title insurance.
Okay, we'll go ahead and put it in there. And now this is in Georgia in your transfer tax. This is not, let's see, transfer tax. It's not letting me go any higher. Let's try that. It's not letting me scroll. Oh, well. All right. What do you think the transfer tax is?
Gosh, I should know that. I don't really remember. I have it on a HUD that it's not with me.
All right. I'm going to put none. Okay. I don't know why that's not scrolling for me. I have a whole list there. All right. This might be a broken UPG. We'll see. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do is when a tenant buyer, we're going to get, how much do you usually get down from a tenant buyer? 5%, 2.5%, 3%?
Between
What do
4
you
and
like
6.
to
Yeah,
get?
I try to get between like
Correct.
3 and 6. Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to plan on getting at least 2.5. Okay. And then if they give us less than 5%, because we really want 5%. Okay. So
Right.
if they give us less than 5%, we're going to let them build that up. But ideally, they give us 5%, right? And then there's no buildup. There's no extra income. But normally on a free and clear deal, Joey, this we're putting the money we get down from our buyer in escrow because we've already pulled out 10 or 20, so we don't need that money. Now on this, you're going to want the money from your buyer because it's a subject to. But I'm going to go ahead and put 2.5. So it's going to assume that you have either the extra other 2.5 in escrow, or you're going to build it up at 110 a month. And then if you did sell it with owner financing with the down payment for 5.99% interest on a 30-year loan, your PITI would be about 1,096.
By the way,
So
the transfer tax, I was looking it up. It's 10 cents for every $100. So it's not much.
And okay. All right. So I'll just leave it at none. All right. Okay. Typical. Okay. Would you do home inspections?
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
How much?
$300.
Okay, so this is money we would normally be out of pocket before we close and get that money back when we close. Would you do an appraisal?
No, I don't need to do appraisal.
All right. And then these, would you close it with an attorney or title company? It sounds like it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like I got about $1,500 in here. It looks like you're not going to have a lender, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
Lender, title insurance. You got your insurance. Title insurance owner's policy right now, it says 310. I don't know why it says 310. Owner's policy. There's something wrong with this. Oh, the owner's policy. Yeah, the 310. Yeah, you said you would pay for title insurance. Okay. Just thinking. All right. I was thinking transfer tax. Okay. So I got about $400 in there to market to find a buyer. Actually, it's staying zero because you don't have any marketing. So let's go ahead and put 1 month of marketing. Okay, assuming you fixed it up for a month.
Do you have
The
attorney fees
lost
in there too
income,
for the closing? You said you had attorney's fees.
I have 250 for settlement and closing, and document prep 250, and recordings. So about $600. Would that do it?
Yeah, it's probably
Or
less
how
than that.
much?
Actually, probably for like $500.
Okay, so let's make that 200. And then your lost income, for 3 months, you might not be getting that 1195. So we have 3 months of lost income, which equals 1185. So we normally borrow that on a first mortgage. Then when you sell it, I'm just assuming maybe 1.5% cost to sell, some closing costs. That's on the back end. Your funding, okay. Do you have money partners?
I do.
Private lenders?
Yes.
Okay. What's the maximum loan to value?
Oh, I can get 100%. Well, I usually do like 70 to 75, but I can get up to 100% if I want to.
Okay. And what kind of interest rate you charge or offer?
Usually it's 8.
Okay. And what if you got if there was equity and you can get a small second, would you do that and do it at 8%?
I mean, yeah, it's usually 7 or 8%. Just depends.
Okay. I will use 8% interest only, no points, right?
All right. No points. Just simple interest.
Okay. So if you do a first mortgage, it's going to be these new money rates. If you do a second, we'll say it's at 10%. We'll just say that. All right. Okay. Then your profit should be a minimum of 50. And I like to start off with 9,000 a year. We could sometimes do 7,000 a year for every year of health. So the longer you hold it, the more the target profit is. This should be 20%. We got 48 months of no appreciation. And we got inflation factor of 3%. We have no interest to the seller on any note they take back. And on this part of the deal structures, I usually start with 15, 12, 9, and 7. In this case, it would be no money down. In fact, we have negative equity available, looks like, because of the repairs. So we're gonna take a look at no money down to the seller. We can play with that. And then the exit would be a RTO. Your cash flow would be about 740 with that extra income coming from your tenant buyer. you could, I usually like to build in $100 or $200 positive cash flow. And you can also, give half of the cash flow to the seller. I'm going to pay off their note, but I know we're probably not going to need to do that on this. So no cash flow to the seller, and then the exit is going to be an RTO mail.
Can we go back a second?
Yeah.
Why is the cash flow available 743? Where's that coming from?
Okay, it's the PITI. It's the 1,200 in rent minus the taxes and insurance. Let's see. Oh, we haven't put in the loan information there yet.
Right. Yeah, it should be. Except
why.
that's close. It was close.
Right.
So maybe the insurance is more or something. It's like the monthly payment 758.
Okay. Okay, that's what we remember. We had to go back and see. This is the PI calculator. What we need is the principal and interest. So you said the PITI is 758. So this is calculating with the taxes and insurance that we put in there. That is probably about 484. You would have to verify that, right? Because we're just guessing. Okay.
Right.
And then, give me a guess on the interest rate.
Like, I don't know, like maybe 4.5%, 5%, something like that.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and put 4.75. And then, how long do you think it's been on the property? It's a 30-year loan. How long has it been on there?
1 second, I can tell you. Since 2013, since December, actually, November of 2013.
2013, so 8 years, about 8 years.
A little less than 8 years.
96.
Yeah, like that's
500 months or so. Okay. So what it's doing, let's go ahead and put, let's say you borrowed, 110. Okay. All right. If you borrowed 110 at that interest rate, the payment would be this and the balance would be this. So let's say you borrowed 100. All right. Looks like
it last sold for one. I'm sorry. But I think he refinanced it is what happened, because it looks like it last sold. It last sold in 2004, December, for 118.9. So he refinanced it at some point. He refinanced it back in 2013, I believe. That's what happened.
2013.
He did a refi on it. Yeah.
Well, if he borrowed 100 at 4.2%, the payment would be 489, and the balance would be 83. So he borrowed 97,000. That's why we need these numbers, so we don't have to guess too much. But
he borrowed. Let's see. I can tell you, he borrowed the amount. It's 110. Sales price was 110. Actually, no. It said it sale. So I don't know. I'm confused here now. Saying it was 110 was the sales price. Estimated loan balance was 93,725 currently. That's what he told me. Yeah, that's what he told me it was too. And then the payment should be about 536 plus taxes and insurance.
Oh, 536. Okay. Yeah, 536, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
Maybe he borrowed 100.
I need to find all that out. Yeah.
The problem is I don't have enough of the details. So I'm just going to do something here. And we don't have to. I wanted to demonstrate how, running a subject to deal works. If it was on there for 88 months, he would owe 94 if the payment was, 537. If he borrowed 110 and the interest rate was 4.186. So that we want this number right down here to be close to zero. These to be matching close.
Yeah, number of payments should be 92, I believe. 91 or 92.
Okay, so that would take the balance down to, I'm just going to
That
use
sounds about
this,
right.
93.
That's close because it's 93. It's right
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
It's within
See how we
100.
got close on that?
It's within $300.
All right.
So close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough. Okay. Now, of course, we can actually give him anything we want over 94. He wants 94. He's expecting 94 cash. So what we want to do is explain to him we can't do that. Why? Here's our cash price, right? So that's why we're going through this exercise. So if we gave him no payments, okay, no money down, no payments. Actually, here's what it's calculating. Now it is calculating that we're borrowing 26,000 to fix up the property, buy it, hold it, and get it occupied. Okay, 20,000 of that is repairs. Okay, and there's not enough equity to borrow that on a second. Okay, so what that tells me is we should go over here and figure out, let's go ahead and do a minimal fix up and sell it on, as a fixer upper with terms. And so let's run that way. I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, now I'm going to turn this into a sweat equity deal. So let's say you only spent about $500 cleaning it up, or maybe, I don't know, $1,500.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I can make it look really good for $1,500.
Yeah, and let someone else fix it up, right? Now, what you would say is, look, I'm gonna do all these things. Here's all the things I'm gonna do. Your $20,000 worth of work, right? And the price is $159.5, but it's a fixer upper, so I'm taking offers as is. So I can fix it up and sell it for $159.5, but I'm taking offers as is. So let's say we would offer, okay, so the as is value, without being fixed up, would you say it's worth 130, 120? What do you think it's worth as is?
Yeah, I think that's realistic. I think 125, 130. Yeah.
Yeah, let's use 130. Okay. And then I think if you took off 20,000 off that, that's 139. I think you could probably get 139 with terms, or 137. Now we could just assume we have to go down to 129, okay? Because it's a fixer upper. So let's run the numbers that way. Now let's take a look at how much money we need to borrow. And it's only $8,000, okay? And the $8,000, and we don't have enough equity to borrow that on a small second. So that 8,000 is your closing costs, your marketing costs, your lost income, which I'm going to leave that in there as an expense because it is an expense. Your home inspection, the $1,500 to fix it up. Seems a little high though, since I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, it's assuming that you're going to buy a year's worth of insurance up front, hazard insurance. So we're not going to have this second mortgage of 8,000. It's assuming that you'd have an interest only payment of $67 on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I could get rid of that by saying, well, you're not collecting cash on the deal, you're actually coming out of pocket on the deal. So I could put a minus $8,000 here, okay? And then go ahead and say cash out of the deal is -8 and see what happens. Okay, let's do it 65. minus 65. So, all right, so we've zeroed out the private money. It's got a $1 payment, okay? All right. So now you have more cash flow because you're not making payment on that $28,000. Now, so remember you told me it was about $400 in cash flow? It is when you get that extra income, when when you take into account that extra income from a tenant buyer. So you were correct. So that's about your cash flow. So now let's take a look at our offers. In fact, let's take a look at our profit targets. Okay. Now it's 9,000 a year, so it's 67, 81, 108, 135. So these are our profit targets. Okay. Now sometimes people are happy, especially on a lower price home, to use 7,000, right? So we could take a look at that. Let's start with 9. And then our offers, okay? I like 9-year deals. We could actually hit our target profit paying him 137, taking over his loan, and then giving him the balance. We could give him another 43,000 in 9 years and still make our target profit of 81,000. Okay, on a subject to deal, sometimes I like to maybe beef this up a little bit more. Let's make it instead of 9,000, let's make it 11,000 a year. All right. So in 9 years, you'd make 100 grand. Would that be okay? You get, all right. So how does that work? Let's take a look at 9 years. So 9 years, you could pay on a 9-year deal, you could pay 119,000. And you'd have positive cash flow. All right, for 9 years, that's 51,000. Total cash flow is 41,000. The back end, when you sell it in 9 years, would be 51,000. You got at least 3,300 down from your buyer, but you're going to actually need to spend that. So actually, you want to see if you can get more down. And then cash flow increases over the 9 years. So our target profit is 99,000. What do you think about that for a 9-year deal? Do you know what? Are you there, Joey?
No, I'm sure you broke up with me. What was your question? Yeah, I have bad connection. I just cut off my Wi-Fi. I'm on my mobile. So we'll see.
Okay.
You sound better now. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So our target profit on a 9-year offer is 11,000 a year. So it's about 100 grand. Okay. So would you pay him? Would you take over his loan and give him another $26,000 in 9 years if you made 100 grand?
Sure. I mean, I don't have to, but I mean, if I had to in this case,
you don't have to.
I mean,
right. You don't have to, but it's good to know what you can do. So here's what you can do. You can pay him, you can make $11,000 for every year that he goes on his note, okay? That you own this until you have to like give him some money later. So you could give him 26,000 later on a 9-year deal, about 22,000 on a 7-year deal. You could give them 19,000 on a 5-year deal, and hit your target.
And that's no payments. That's like right there, like in the chart. It's just a balloon payment at maturity.
That's right. That's no payments. It's just a balloon. So it's the loan balance plus anything else you want to give them.
Sure.
So you could give them these amounts. You don't have to, right? It just increases. Yeah. So, and if you don't have to, why do it, right?
Sure. It's just a bargaining chip if necessary.
But I like to, now what's your cash offer? Okay. It says the cash offer here is 96. I don't agree with that. Let's take a look.
No, it's 94.
Yeah. what is your formula for a cash offer?
Well, for normally on a
70%.
house that's yeah, I mean, I'm wholesaling it on a house that's under like 150. It's probably like 50%,
Yeah, 50%.
depending on the condition. I mean, it can be up or down from there, but yeah, it's on average probably about 50%.
Okay. This is using the, I think it's using this formula here.
Yeah, it's not accurate. 50%
Yeah.
would be a little more than that. But that's about right in the as is condition. I mean, honestly, it's
well,
not too
it's
far off.
50% minus repairs.
Right, that's about right.
It's 50% minus repairs.
That's about right. Yeah, cash offer will be close to there.
So let's
maybe 60%. Yeah.
Yeah, 60% minus repairs would be around 77,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where you want it at? Okay. The other way is like you do 70%, right? Minus repairs would be 89. But what you do is you change this to, adding a flip fee to it, right? So you can lower it that way. So let me go ahead and change this back to, I see some updates I want to make to this. So about 67, does that sound about right?
Sure.
Or 72 or 77?
I mean,
you don't have to show them this sheet, but this.
Yeah, if I was gonna, yeah, just do a cash offer and wholesale it or flip it myself, yeah.
Okay, and usually what I do is I make cash offers where I could actually buy it and hold it. So that's based on my loan to value of what I can borrow. So all the money I need for the deal is like, what's the most I can borrow minus all the money I need for the deal, and that's the most I would offer cash. But okay, we'll just keep it at 77 here. Okay, so on this sheet, he's saying he wants 94,000, and I would tell him I can actually do that if you could wait for your you can wait for some money. So let's see about, I'm going to put a 3-year custom 3 years. That's 3 years. Okay, the rent exit should be the same as 1. Okay, see on this one, okay, so now we got 9, 7, 5, and 3. Okay, so he says he wants 94,000 all cash, right? So he says he wants 94,000. So I'd go back to him and say, look, what I can do is I can actually pay you 98,000, if I go ahead and take over the existing loan. So I give you the debt relief because he's losing money now. You go through all the benefits, right? And you go ahead and offer him a $5,000 balloon, down the road. It doesn't have to be 3 years, but you could do it and still hit your $11,000 a year minus, well, your minimum target profit is 50. So your profit on this deal is going to be at a minimum. If you sold it in 3 years, your minimum profit's 50. Okay, because we have a minimum, and then we have 11,000 a year. So the longer we go, the more we can pay, and the more our target profit goes up. So it's a little unusual, because it's a subject to deal. There's a whole different kind of like way to look at it. But what we're doing here, Joey, is you can see, yes, we know it's a deal for 94, right? And we can actually offer him whatever we want on top of that. And so if you're offering to take over his loan, I would say, look, if I have to pay off your loan, we're going to be short because I can only pay 77,000, right? And this is like, what, there's no reason to do that. If you let me take over the loan, I can actually pay more than the 94. I can pay you 98. I'll give you the debt relief, and then you have this little nest egg down the road. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So here, you can do any of these, and these will all be profitable deals. So anything you do less is just going to increase your profit. So yeah, you have a lot of flexibility, because if he says he doesn't, that 5,000 doesn't matter to him, then I would say, well, tell you what if I gave you 26,000, right? Give you the debt relief, and I'll give you 26,000, but it will be kind of like a little nest egg down the road in 9 years. So if you need to negotiate, you can do all of these things. All these things would work. All right. So that is, so what questions do you have? I know this is all new to you. So what questions do you have? And by the way, subject to deal structuring is an advanced strategy.
Yeah. Right.
The free and clear, it's a little easier.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to.
What questions do you have on this?
I definitely like to get the contracts you use for that. But
okay, well, you got the free and clear cut. You got the free and clear cash machine, right? So it's in module 8 is on the paperwork, and it has there's a file with all the paperwork, and we'll work together on that. Okay, so yeah.
Great.
Yep, you have everything you need. And now I'm going to email you a copy of this UPG so you can play with it. Okay, and you can kind of use it as a template going forward. Okay, so on your next deal. So now this was a sweat equity exit, because yeah, you don't have the money to fix up the house, right? How would you fix up the house?
I mean, I could borrow it
You wouldn't.
from private money, I guess, if I needed to, but I don't need to really.
Okay, if you, yeah, okay, and we did kind of run it that way first. So this is a sweat equity. This is sweat, all right? Okay, now if we change this back to 20,000 in repairs, and we had we sold it, the value was the 154, and then the after repaired the sales price was 159, and we didn't actually have a negative on the marketing money. And what else do we need to change on the funding? What we need to do is we need to we would change your loan to value on the first mortgage. I'm going to change it here. Custom, I'll just put 100%. So your cash offer is not going to work here. And then take a look at what kind of money we need. It's saying we need 25,000. Okay, we have equity available. So now our offers. Okay, now we're borrowing 25,000 to fix it up. See now look at our offers now, right? I told you sweat equity is the most profitable exit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is calculating, I think, 10% interest on a second. It's calculating that you got $210 a month extra cost, so that your target profit is still the 99 if we keep these prices. So yeah, it's better to sell it on sweat equity. Now, of course, look, you can still pay him. It reduces your cash flow because it's all fixed up, right? But your target profit is the same. Okay, so you just have less cash flow and you have a bigger back end. Okay. So, but it looks, in all these cases, you could still pay more than what he owes, even if you brought in a second. So you do have the
I'm a little confused though.
ability.
But that
Yeah.
option you're just showing, is that if I were to fix it up like you're saying I'd fix up initially? No, I wouldn't do that.
This scenario right now is you spending 20,000 fixing up to make it worth 154. Say, right, fixed up
Right.
price 154,
And then
cost
you're
to fix
saying lease
up.
it out after leasing it out after that? No.
Well, you could sell it, but now you're going to have a substitution of collateral with the seller. Okay, if you're going to give him, like if you're going to give him a big note down the road, the only way to give him a big note down the road is make sure it goes down the road. So in my paperwork,
Right.
and what you do is you get a substitution of collateral. Okay, if it's a small amount,
Right.
it's not a big deal. Um,
Yeah.
so you could sell it, but you know what? I would sell it with owner financing and get 10 or 20. I'd go ahead and get 20% down, right?
Right. Yeah. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense to put the money in it, because if unless you're gonna turn around and just sell it, because I'm not gonna put somebody in there, have it fixed up, and then have them tear it up again.
Unless you got a bunch of money down to protect yourself. So you never put anybody into a property unless you get enough money to protect yourself, right?
Right. Unless they're gonna put 20,000 down.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's it. That's exactly right. In fact, you might want 30,000 down, right?
Right.
Because if you fix it up.
Exactly.
And then, okay, and now you could pay off your private money, or you could, now you have that money to build your business, right? I would use that money to build your business. So, yeah, no, I think the ideal situation is, sell it as is. Just tell people, hey, I'm ready to sell it for 159 fixed up. I'm gonna spend 20 grand, or here's my list of things that I'm gonna do, and I'm taking offers as is. We said that we would be willing to take 129, but you'll probably be offered more than that. And what I like to do is if you do good marketing for your tenant, you'll have multiple people, and you can pick the one that you feel the best about, the one who gives you most money down, the one that you can choose, right?
Right.
Maybe the
That's
highest
that's
price,
probably my
highest
biggest
down.
hiccup on these, is like my exit strategy with the tenant buyer. Like, do you work with like mortgage like brokers and lenders to find a well qualified like tenant buyer, or how do you usually
You don't need it. No,
No?
no. What you do is, we cover this in module 7. I have a number of stuff on selling, but in module 7 of the free and clear cash machine, we talk about selling, right? I have all the paperwork for dealing with tenant buyers and stuff, and selling with terms.
Right.
So what you want is, you want the person to put enough skin in the game, right, before you let them move in. So they got to give you a bunch of cash in your pocket, or they got to do a bunch of work to the property. And then you can deal with someone that is working on their credit and getting established on their job, and all the reasons why people can't qualify. So you're really going to serve the 2/3 of the people out there that can't qualify, right? But you're actually looking for someone who's looking for a second chance, where they just need some time because they're self-employed, or they just relocated, or they had something that they're recovering from, right? So we're going to be helping a large majority of the people that need help. And there's no shortage of those people. That's why you'll be able to pick the one with the largest down, or the best stability, or the one you feel the best about. Also, I'll show you how to negotiate additional income on the property above and beyond this, right? And say, like, put them in as a tenant buyer, and have them build up to 5%. But if they give you 5%, have them build up to 10% or 20%, right? So I'm going to show you how to maximize the income from a tenant buyer, and how to get the maximum price. And yeah, once you're trained on dealing with terms buyers, you'll feel more comfortable.
Right.
But you have to assume that a month after they move in, you have to evict them. That's what you have to assume. So you
Right.
never rely. You never rely. That's how you. You have to have that much protection, right? And you want your entire business so you're not relying on anybody doing anything. That includes real estate agents, mortgage brokers. So what I do to answer your question is I'll say, when can you get a loan? And they'll say, I don't know, or I'm dealing with this, and then if then I'll say, well, go talk to my mortgage broker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let my mortgage broker, pull their credit and, take an application and tell me what they need to do in order to get a loan. So that's something you outsource to your mortgage broker.
Right. That makes sense.
But yeah, you're going to be dealing. Everybody else is chasing after the people that can qualify and pay, cash you out of a house. We're not chasing after those. We find them, right? In fact, you might, when you have an opportunity, someone might want to negotiate price, right? They might want to try and lowball you. Remember, we're open to offers, right? And someone says, I'll buy, I want to buy it for 90,000, right? And it's like, heck, man, I'm going to spend 20 and then I'm going to sell it for 150. I might as well spend 20 and sell it for 159 than take your 90, right?
Right.
So, but if someone wants to cash you out, then you decide what makes sense. If you get to play with that the sellers doesn't have a bunch of equity here. A lot of times there's a lot of equity we're pushing down the road. So if we get cashed out, we get all that equity to use now. And so that's a different situation. On this situation, I wouldn't mind being cashed out. You do have a positive cash flow. But yeah, I wouldn't mind being cashed out. You wouldn't mind being cashed out as is. What price? If you bought it for 94, what would you love to sell it for cash next month? As is. 120, 130?
I mean,
Cash?
130. Oh, I'd love that.
130?
Yeah, 130 would be good.
Yeah. Well, we just thought
I
about,
mean, if
we
I was
just
selling,
decided.
if I don't have, well, if I don't have to have pay all the realtor fees and everything, I mean, I'm not, it
Yeah,
wouldn't make sense to
you're
let it go
not.
for that less.
There's,
Right.
there's no agents involved.
Right.
All
Right.
right. So yeah, if you could, now, if it was a very, like when you create 0% financing with the seller and it's a free and clear house, you're not in a hurry to pay off the seller. Okay. Now, on this loan, if it's 4.5%, I don't have a problem paying that off. Right. But if it was a 2% loan or a 3% loan, I might want to keep that. Right. I might rather keep it as a long-term hold. Right. And it all depends.
Sure.
And it's going to depend from property to property. But when there's financing in place, that's going to help dictate your decision on what kind of offers you will accept.
How strong the cash flow is, right? Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes into it.
Yeah, exactly. Now on this one, the only money you're getting out of this deal is the money you get down from your buyer, and you're going to have to spend some of it, right? So the only reason this is a deal is because you're getting a good price and it's a decent loan and there's cash flow. So there is cash flow. If it was a break-even cash flow and you weren't getting much money up front, then there's better deals. Okay,
Right.
unless you're really getting a lot of equity.
And you were saying the other day,
Right.
the true cash flow is about half of that, right? I mean, it's really only like $200 a month, right?
Well,
Maybe a little
yeah,
more, but like 225.
well, the way it shows additional cash flow, and you have to kind of know this. This is really important when we're doing a free and clear deal. But so if we take a look at the now you see my screen, right? I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Correct.
Right.
Okay. So let's say, remember, this is important because I made some of these strategies so we could make better offers to sellers. So it's kind of assumes that on a free and clear deal, you're going to pull out any money you want out of the deal. So all the money you get from your buyer, you don't need. So we're going to put that aside and we're going to jumpstart an escrow account for vacancies, repairs, and maintenance. In fact, we're going to plan on having 15% of the income should be going into that escrow account. Okay? Because what happens is you want to build up that escrow account for future vacancies, repairs, and maintenance, even though you're dealing with a tenant buyer.
Right.
So if we got 5% down from our buyer, we don't have this extra income, but we take that 5%, put it into escrow, and then we can actually pull out that $110 a month that we were expecting if we needed it. Okay. So this normally is assuming that you're not going to spend, you're going to use this deposit to manage the property. All right. So even though it says an extra $110 a month to build it up to 5%, I put 5% in here, I don't think it doesn't change the income because it's assuming you're taking out that 110 each month to supplement the income. This is the one where we got that $200, second mortgage. So, but I know that's kind of quick and dirty. So, but that's, I think we'll have an opportunity to talk about that more later.
Yeah,
any other questions on this?
I was just a little confused on the cash flow number because I know we had said, I was trying to see where the calculator said how much, if it factors in those things that you were just talking about, like what that number it spit out was after, counting for any kind of for a traditional rental like vacancy and repairs and whatnot. I just was curious as to what the number was. I wasn't clear on what the monthly cash flow was saying it was based on the calculator.
Okay, so the calculator is saying that, let's go ahead and put the 2.5% in here. It says we're getting $4,000 as a purchase deposit. Okay.
Right.
We're getting another $4,000 with this $110 a month for 36 months. So within 36 months, they're either going to buy it or they're going to be gone, right? Mm-hmm. So and you can get more than the 110, right? How long, how much extra can you pay each month to take care of the 5% or the 10%? I'll show you how to negotiate that. That's why I always get involved in, with the negotiations with the buyer, because I'm looking to get the highest price, the most money down, and the highest extra money.
Oh, I see. So there's an extra 110 on top of the 1195 is what you're saying. That's like, doesn't fall off for 3 years? Or no? Am I not following that correctly?
Well, it's going to continue. It's either that property's going to be sold.
Right.
They're either going to close, or you're going to put another tenant buyer in there.
Correct.
And they're going to do the same type of thing.
I got you.
Okay.
But they're paying 110 additionally on top of the 1195. Is what you're saying in this example?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're paying rent. They're just paying market rent, and then it's like they're either giving you 5% down, right? And then you can pull out 110 of that out of your bank account each month.
I see.
If you needed
it's not
right?
Both. It's not and or. It's either they give me 110 additional a month or 5,000 up front. Is what you're saying?
That is correct. However, they can give you 5%, and you can negotiate that additional purchase deposits beyond that too. But yes, this is like a minimum. We want a minimum of 2.5%.
Right.
And if that was the case, we're going to get a 110. But yeah, if they gave us 5% down and they didn't want to pay extra each month, it's okay. All right, because that's fine. But usually,
that's not refundable. Yeah, 5% non-refundable.
Right. So now it's saying, see this, we're getting this rent. So the vacancy rate here, it's calculating that we want to put an additional like $70 aside. We got the 110 coming in. So we want another $70 to put aside for vacancies, repairs, and maintenance. So that's coming off our income, our net income. If it was a rental, it works a little bit differently because we don't have any purchase deposits. And where that is if it's a rental, we're going to probably have a property manager, right? So we would have like 8% plus 12% for vacancies, repairs, and maintenance. That's about 20%, okay? But for a tenant buyer, we really don't need a property manager, right? And so it's going to be, instead of 20% total, 25%, it's going to be 15%. So we want 15% of the income going aside for vacancies, repairs, and maintenance, but it's going to be the 110, that comes out to about 180 to 15%. And so we're getting 110, so we only need another 70. So every time you get your payments from every time you get rent, $11.95, $70 is going aside for vacancies, repairs, and maintenance. Plus, this 110 is going aside for that as well.
I see. So my net should be like 367. If I take 1195, subtract out 758, which is the current payment, and then you're saying another 70.
This is your cash flow right here. It's $218.
Okay.
All right. That's if you were paying $210 on a $25,000 loan.
Right. Oh yeah.
So,
I got that too. Yeah, that'd be if I was doing that. But if I'm not doing that, then you can add that back into it.
That's right. We can go back to the other version of this, right?
Right.
And in fact, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and go back to the sweat equity one.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's $387. Yeah, it's $387 is your cash flow on sweat equity.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
What other questions?
I think that covers it.
And so there's a rent net sheet here. This shows that he's getting $800. This is good. You're going to learn some of this stuff through my training videos and working together. But if he's paying these property taxes, and if he's paying this insurance, and he's paying that mortgage payment, right? And he's either paying a property manager or should be paying himself 8%. That's $64. Vacancies, people don't account for vacancies. It's like, have you always been so we have 5% for vacancies, 10% for vacancies, repairs and maintenance. So that's the 15%. So you can walk, if you ever, a seller saying, I'm breaking even or I'm making money, and you can actually walk them through these numbers, right? And this guy, he is losing $200 a month.
Right.
All right. So, and he knows that.
Sure. That's why he wants to sell it for the price he's at. Exactly.
That's why he wants the debt relief. That's why you can buy it for what he owes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would go in there and I would say, look, I would get real clear on what he wants. He wants to sell it. He wants the debt relief. He just wants what he owes. He wants to move on this date. He wants to leave it as is, whatever he wants, right? And I would say, look, I can do that, and that. And we can close, right? And I'll take over your tenant. I'll take care of that. And if that works for him, great. If he's saying, do I get any money? So, well, no, you said so he's not asking for money now. But in that case, I would tell him that's when your cash offer comes into play, right? It's good to, you say, look, I'd have to buy it for less than what you owe if I paid off your loan, okay? But if I take over your loan, I can do all these other things for you that you want, right? Does that work for you? And it's like, no, I want you to pay off my loan. All right, so do you have money? Can you come to the table with money? Because there's other properties I can buy, like yours, similar type of deals where I can buy them for like $77,000. So that's what I could pay you. But we're about, $17,000 short. So if you came up with 17,000, I could buy it, do all that, you'd be done, and I'd pay off your loan. However, I think it's better for you because you would get more money. In fact, I can actually pay you more than the 94. I can actually pay you $100,000. Okay. But what I would do is I'd give you some of my profit down the road. Okay. Because I'm going to be making my money down the road. I'm not getting anything out of this property until down the road. If I play my cards right, I think I can increase the cash flow and create some cash flow. Right. So, all right.
Right.
that's kind of some negotiations. Here's another thing is when you're, this is a seller net sheet where it will calculate, you want to play with some of these numbers and verify it, but it kind of calculates what a seller might net if they sold it, traditionally. So in this case, if it's worth 130 as is, needs 1,500 repairs to make it worth 130, and they sold it through an agent, they would normally net around 100. Okay. And you can play with the numbers on the sell net sheet to make sure that
one other
accurate.
thing that I was thinking about is I think that one number that's probably not realistic is the rent amount as is.
Yeah.
Not that the house is in bad shape, but I mean that's more like an after repair rent, right? I think the current the current condition is probably closer to like $1,000 to $1,200. That could make it like you're saying more break even. I mean, you still make money, you still cash flow, but it wouldn't be as much as what you're saying.
Wait. If you sold it as is, you're saying you're not going to get 1195?
Probably not. I mean, I think that more realistically, it would probably go down at least 100 or maybe even $200. It would drop some. Yeah, that would be more.
Well, you
like
could
after repair.
Okay, you could. Yeah, but that's what you're. Yeah, but you're still, remember, you're running the numbers as is, but you're still marketing it for the 159
Sure.
fixed up, and you tell them, I'm gonna fix it up. I'm gonna find someone who wants to buy it, and I can rent it to you until you close. It's gonna be nice. It's 159. Here's all the things I'm gonna do to it. The rent's $1,200, right?
Right.
And that's going to qualify the person the rent amount, because you're going to talk to someone that can pay that.
Sure.
And then if they want a reduced rent, okay, instead of reducing the rent, because if you fixed it up, that's what they would be paying for rent, right? So what you could do is you could offer rent credit.
Okay.
You can offer rent credit.
Right.
All right. Okay. So if we go over here to,
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, rent credits. Right. Yep.
Okay, so rent credits, I always assume, I work into my numbers that I can give a $200 a month rent credit for the first 12 months, right? That's right here, $2,400 in rent credit. That comes off the back end. However, if only half the people actually close, it only costs you $1,200 on the back end. Right,
which is nothing on what we're going to be making. So that's
And you've already and you're getting a premium price. You went from 154 to 159, right?
Sure.
So you're getting a little premium price, and it's only when they close, right? Now, but you can negotiate. You could start off saying, yeah, it'll be 159. Owner can finance. I'll rent it to you until you close. It's $1,200 a month. And you're going to get $100 rent credit every month for the first 12 months, or you could change it. You could say 24 months, right?
Right.
Or you could just go ahead and offer the 200, and that's their incentive for paying on time, because they have to pay on time, take care of the house, keep all their agreements, or they don't get their rent credit, right? So that's in my rent to own addendum, which is in my paperwork. Okay. Now, what you can do is you can offer a lot more rent credit. Right? To say, look, if they're bitching and whining about the rent, so I'll tell you what, I told you I'm going to give you $200 a month rent. I need the market rent coming in. I know you're going to be fixing it up and everything, but you're going to get the benefit of that, right? They're going to get the benefit of that. So it's like, okay, how about, and they want to pay $1,000 instead of $1,200. And so you might negotiate and say, well, tell you what, I want you to pay that extra $200, but it'll be a credit towards the purchase price. Okay. And then if we take a look here, our offer on this deal is 119. Let's take a look at this, 98,000. Okay, that's what we could pay the seller to hit our target profit. If I change the rent credit to 400. Actually, I'll give them 50% of their rent. How about 50% of the rent credit?
Holy cow.
What if I gave them half of their rent as a credit, right? For 12 months. Well, just for 12 months. Wow, it actually, that's interesting. Our offer went up. We could pay more. Why is that? I'm gonna have to look.
That might be broken. Is that
Well,
accurate?
there's probably a reason for it. Rent credit. Let me go back to 200. Yeah, I have to double. We usually don't do that. We usually just keep it at the 200. So, yeah,
Right.
that's something I want to look. There's got to be a reason for that. There's a lot of stuff behind the curtain here. Let's see. Rent credit, rent credit. All it does is reduces our back end. They would get a credit. Okay, something to look at. I do have someone working on getting this as an online version, but that's going to take a while. All right. What other questions you got? We'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I think we're good, Richard. I appreciate it. I think we hit that pretty thoroughly. So thank you so much.
Okay, so what I want you to do is you said you had another deal, so I'm going to send this to you, and I'd like you to use this as a template,
Sure.
and maybe go ahead and put your numbers in the other one, for the other
Yep.
deal, and then we can take a look at that.
Yep, that'd be good.
All right, good. Excellent. All right. Who's on the line that watched what we did, that has any questions about anything that we covered on this subject to deal structure? And so this was unusual. We wanted to find out if the seller wanted more money because we're buying it subject to, what could we do? And we clearly saw that we could give them between $5,000 and $25,000 later and still make really good money if that helped seal the deal. So that's one of the reasons why we went through it that way. We also, you saw how it helped calculate our cash flow, right? So we can see, make sure that we have a break even or know what kind of cash flow. Anybody on the line have any questions on what we did? And you can go ahead and unmute yourself and announce your name. And then otherwise, we'll go ahead and take some quick Q&A before we go. Let's see, I do have some, I think I got something from Jeff. He said, my question is directed towards practicing the terms business without using private money for short term while ramping up. Can the software assist us in creating a lease option, lease option, owner financing using the incoming tenant buyer's money to pay the seller a modest upfront payment? Yeah, we kind of, what we do is we kind of use that negative. We do want to calculate how much money we need on the deal, and then we use that instead of pulling money out of the deal. We're going to have a negative money out of the deal. That means that you're going to use some of your buyer's money to do the deal. So yes, we can absolutely do that, Jeff. I'd have to show you an example of that in a situation. But yeah, but buying on a lease, there's no reason to buy on a lease. I'm trying to think of, there's all kinds of different scenarios we can run through the ultimate profit generator. So yeah, I just have to go through a demo on that. But yes, you can use your buyer's money to fund the deal as long as you can get in light, okay, with the seller. You can also bring in a money partner. There is, but you should also go ahead and start working on putting your private lender program together. Go through module 6 in the free and clear cash machine and go through those steps and start putting that together. It's a lot. You're going to do a lot more deals once you do have the money, as opposed to being hampered a little bit. But yes, you can. If as long as it's a deal, we can fund it. We can fund it. All right. Let's see. Any other? That was in the chat. Oh, and he had to leave. Oh, hopefully you got that. Well, we get the replay, I guess. All right. And he said he couldn't unmute himself. Okay. Any other questions before we go today? Anybody want to talk to me today? You guys that stayed on live, was this useful? All right, it's just me and you, Joey.
We don't
All
die,
right.
I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope this was useful. Let's see. I might be doing another. Oh, okay. Well, here, maybe I should do this. Let me go ahead and I'm planning on. Okay, Steve. Yeah, go ahead and send me an email, Steve. Steve wants the updated version. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We are live. Okay. Okay. I wanted to. I did a little bit of updates regarding the October boot camp. I want to invite everybody to go ahead and enroll in my marketing boot camp in October. I put some additional details online. There's still a lot of information that I want to put online about it as far as the agenda and all that, because it's an amazing agenda. On Saturday, I gave a sampling of some of the cool stuff I've created that I'll be teaching step by step at the boot camp. And I revealed that on Saturday. So if you didn't attend my Saturday marketing training on July 24th, go ahead and go to rapodia.com breakthrough-marketing-secrets. Okay. It's also going to be right now, it is on the front page of rapodia.com. And it's also, if you go into categories and you go into free, these are it, you'll find it down here. Okay. So I would go ahead and get the replay of that. I just put together the call notes on that and I uploaded that with the replay. So the replay is available now. I have the call links with the links, the call notes with the links to the websites that I went to. And we talked about, you know, how to mail postcards for 19 cents, complete, right? How to capture the name and mailing address and email and phone and all that, but the name and mailing address of anonymous visitors to your website. How to retarget people when they go to your website and target that, follow them around on the internet. And when people respond to your online ads, you know, how to get their mailing address. So it's kind of like we're hitting people. If you do a mailing campaign, we can hit them on social media and with Google before the mail hits. Then for free, you can send them an email announcing that with a digital ad, even if you don't have their email address through informed delivery, that could be part of your campaign. So the day they get your direct mail, then they get your direct mail, and then we retarget them for a period of time after online with the Google ads, the digital ads, Facebook, social media. So I kind of covered some ways to do that, and how to get some better scored mailing lists. So some really cool stuff. So we did that on Saturday. Now, my boot camp in October, if you go here, there's a video that I did describing what we're going to do. Here's the link to the wonderful resort in Florida. This is where you'd get our group rate, get some information on the Tradewinds Island Resort in St. Pete Beach. Okay, and then there's a offer. It expires July 31st. So I updated this offer. So you can click here or go to special offer. All right. And if you go to special offer, I've actually described the enrollment package that is good until July 31st. So what you do is you get a ticket to the event. You know, it's basically a 2-day event with a third day. Right now, everybody that enrolls is getting the third day. As you know, I recommend you attend all 3 days. We're going to cover some great stuff on the third day. So, but later it'll be $14.95 for like the 2 days. You get all 3 days. You get strategic marketing secrets. If you click on that, or down here, if you click on this, you'll see a description of that course. That's my latest and greatest marketing investing system. You get that. You get all my marketing tools that I've ever created for the past 2 decades, plus all the new ones I create now that I'm creating right now that I'll be sharing at the boot camp, and that I'll also might have some additional ones come out before the end of the year. Okay. So you get all my newest marketing tools, all my updated marketing tools. I'm going to cover a lot of strategies for buyers, sellers, investors, for buying and converting them into cash, into deals. You get my $1 million mindstorming system. Again, you can click on here and take a look at it. You get a copy of the last marketing bootcamp that I did, the audio's on that. You're going to get inner circle support between now and the bootcamp. And then you're also going to get it between the boot camp and the end of the year. So we can talk just about every week and help. So you're going to get that ongoing support. We'll have weekly calls. And if you don't get the call, you'll be able to get the replays. And we are going to do monthly ultimate training webinars. I'm going to give you at least 6 of those, the best ones I've got now, and you'll get all the ones going forward. And then I'm going to give you a credit so you can actually go shopping. Actually, I'd like to talk to you about what you need, what programs that you don't own that you probably should have. You have a $2,000 credit to get the programs that you don't own. Okay, so it does come with $1 million mindstorming. It does come with strategic marketing secrets, but you can pick another $2,000 worth of Roop programs and get them for free. Plus, we'll do a one-on-one marketing plan review. Whether if you got a marketing, your marketing set up and going great, we'll take a look at it. If you haven't got it started, then I'll help you get started. We'll spend a good amount of time on a one-on-one call, going over your marketing jumpstart or fixing, improving your marketing now. So you can use this anytime between now and the boot camp, but we should do a one-on-one because that will help you get the most out of the boot camp. And so I would suggest you enroll today, reserve your seats, and you'll get instant access to these training systems, and you'll be part of the inner circle going forward. And you'll have a seat. And then if you want to bring a guest, when on checkout, you can add a guest for $4.95. So I would encourage everybody to join us. Have some amazing people. Willie Hooks is going to be there. Mark Hoffman's going to be there. I'm inviting some of my some of the sharpest marketers I know to share some of their stuff. But most of the agenda is me teaching the things that you need to know to make your business a lot more profitable, a lot more streamlined, a lot more fun. Okay, imagine if you had $1 million to spend on marketing, what would you do with it? I'm going to show you how to have an unlimited marketing budget. So but so many people are wasting money on things that are not, it's a lot of work, or they're spending too money on it, or they could get 3 or 4 times more results doing, spending the same money. So I'm going to show you all that for not just finding deals that nobody else is going after and eliminating that competition, but also how to get your houses occupied for top dollar, how to get them occupied quickly, how to build a buyer's list of terms buyers or cash buyers, of course, both, how to have private lenders. We were talking about, Jeff saying, hey, I don't have any private money yet. I'm going to fix that. Okay, I'm going to show you how to have private lenders waiting in line for you to do a deal so you can take their money so they can make their money work for them, secured by real estate. So all of those things are marketing campaigns, and marketing strategies and a marketing mindset. And this is a skill building. There's no other skill better than becoming a good marketer than maybe, becoming a good salesperson. But when you're a good salesperson, you're good, you know how to communicate, you know how to find people's needs, you know how to help them. That's one-on-one. Marketing allows you to leverage yourself and be that good, even if you're not, to masses of people, because I'll give you the marketing tools. I'll show you how to change and convert and tweak and improve your existing marketing campaigns and tools. But I'm also going to give you some of the best tools to maybe replace what you're doing, as well as brand new campaigns that you never dreamed of, that nobody else is doing. So I'm pretty excited about it. And it's whenever we have a live boot camp, it's you meet people that become lifelong friends. You meet very sharp people. So the networking is going to be great. What the seminar after the seminar. So when we go from like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, right? When you go hang out with people and you talk with people, me or anybody else, after this seminar, those are some of the best conversations when you get to pick other people's brains. And we'll have what's working best now panels. We'll have some expert panels, and we'll have door prizes. We'll have a lot of fun. I'm buying lunch every day. We'll have networking lunches, and we'll try and plan some group fun stuff to do as well. But it'll all be fun. So go to Roopodia.com, find that link to the boot camp. Go ahead and reserve your seat. And if you have any questions on that, feel free to email me and I'll answer your questions or maybe jump on the phone with you. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will talk